I am co-parenting with my husband, or my ex-husband, and yes, he did have an affair. So now I am in the top 1%. Not Trump's top 1%, but the top 1% of people whose husbands have an affair, then leave them and marry their mistress. That top 1%. Very exciting. Now, you understand why co-parenting is so complicated, because I need to co-parent with my ex and Becky with the good hair. I'm calling her Becky with the good hair because this is obviously being taped and I'm not gonna use her real name. Also, it kind of makes me feel like Beyonce, so. And co-parenting is difficult no matter what. No matter what circumstances, it's definitely very tough. It becomes a lot tougher for me though, because my ex is extremely forgetful. I'm constantly having to cover for him, and you can't just throw them under the bus. You just can't tell your kids what's going on. You can't say things like, oh, I'm sorry, honey, Daddy's so forgetful, they actually got engaged before we were actually divorced. You can't say that. However, if you're a self-respecting, logical woman, you will go online, buy the domain name myhusbandisengaged.com, and then start the Instagram account, myhusbandisengaged. So feel free to follow me, #myhusbandisengaged. And they're saying now that things like Instagram and Facebook, that it's making people less happy, because you're constantly comparing your life to other people's lives. And a lot of times we go on there and we definitely compare our lives to our exes. But imagine living with two tiny people who look like your ex-husband and are constantly dropping random knowledge about your ex, his ex-wife, and their life together. You're driving the kids to the zoo, and all of a sudden your youngest calls you Becky with the good hair. And you have to not drive in oncoming traffic. Or you're about to go to sleep after a really long day, and your son, who still sleeps with you sometimes at night, goes, Becky with the good hair bought a horse. Now, I live in South Philly. I don't want a horse. But that kept me up. There was no sleep that night. I spent the entire night thinking about them riding this horse and the magical land that they must live in when they're not with me at their dad's house. My house in South Philly, my row home became a shack, and their house became Disney World with horses. Fucking horses. It was not fun. But no matter what, you kind of keep persisting, you do the right thing that's for your kids. Sorry, I just had like a little brain fart. I'm gonna get back to it 1 second. So no matter what, you're just doing what you're supposed to be doing. And no matter what, I keep doing what I know is right for my kids. And a lot of times when bad things happen, I start doing the slow Nancy Pelosi clap. Because the shade she threw at Trump is the same shade I want to throw at them, and all of them are not self-aware and act like children. Another example of the X-File, and this one, I think this is one that hurt pretty badly, is that I was going through my son's pants the one day, and actually this is something that no one ever quite believes, that I was going through my son's pants and I found a check for $20,000. This is how I found out they moved to Westchester. There was no conversation, no mediation, no normal, nope, a $20,000 check. So these things keep happening, and I know that no matter what, I have to, again, do what's best for my kids. But I've decided that this X-File is getting kind of heavy. It's getting a little bit too much to carry emotionally and physically. So I have decided that going forward, I'm going to put that file in an archive and give it a new name. Next time they do something that's disrespectful or something that infuriates me, I'm gonna put it in the folder that's labeled The Reasons Why I'm a Great Mom and a Badass Woman. Thank you very much.